In this video, we're going to talk about how to run a high ticket sales call. So if you've been in other sales industries, there's a certain way you have to run a call depending on what you're selling and what market you're selling to. So maybe you're coming from door to door, or you're coming from like corporate or something. So high ticket sales calls are run differently than those industries. Or maybe you're just starting in sales and you have no idea what to do. So let's go. In high ticket sales, these tend to be one call closes. So you don't need multiple sales calls to decide if someone is going to buy or not. And that may surprise you, right? If you're coming from like tech, like I was, which is a really long sales cycle, and you have to talk to someone like 7 fucking times before they're going to buy. So when I got into this and I was like, oh, this is one call? This is insane. Awesome. High ticket calls are going to be more about discovery, right? And finding out if someone is right for your product or not, than it is about forcefully trying to sell everybody that we get on the phone with. But there is an adjustment in the way you need to run these calls when it's only a one call close typically. So we're going to go through the call from start to finish. First thing, when you get on the call with someone, you want to take control. You are the leader here, not them. So you just want to bullshit with them for like a minute, bro. And then don't take any longer than that. I see like reps take like 5-10 minutes of the call, like bullshitting with them. What are you doing? Get to business, right? So what you want to do is bullshit with them for like 1 minute and then just say, hey, this is how this call is going to go. And then you're going to explain the agenda of the call. For example, the way this call is going to go is I'm going to ask you some questions about why you scheduled a call, what your current situation is. And at the end of the call, if I think this product's right for you, then I will pitch it to you. I will explain how working together is going to work. Something like that. So you just want to include that there is a decision coming at the end of this call. So explain to them basically, we're going to see if you're a good fit for this product. And there will also be a decision coming at the end of this call. And when they say, cool, you just get started. Now, some businesses, quick point before we get into the meat of the call, some businesses are going to want you to qualify them up front financially. So for example, they would have you ask, hey, what do you have to invest right now? Are you aware that this calls for a program that costs 4 figures, whatever, etc.? I don't like doing this for many reasons. You want to qualify and screen people hard on the call application before they even get on the call. So all these financial questions should be on the call application they have to fill out before the call. Because it's a waste of time to do this on the call, and you're just going to end up talking to lots of people who aren't qualified, and they're going to be like, what? 4 figures? That's crazy. You know, like what? Why are you on a high ticket call then, bro? You don't want to talk to these people. So qualify them on the call application, not on the call if you can. Now next, after you do the intro, you are going to go straight into the meat of the call. The bulk of the call is going to be this. I'm going to get them to explain to me in detail what their current situation is. What is their goal? Like, why did they schedule this call? And what is currently stopping them from achieving that goal? Why haven't they done it already? What are the problems that are in their way of achieving that goal, basically? And I will continue to ask them open-ended questions until I get all of that information. So I want them doing all of the talking for like the next 20 to 35 minutes, rough time frame. And I will ask them questions until I get all the info that I need. Just remember that you are running the call, not them. But this is what I want. Detailed information on their current situation. What is their goal? What is stopping them from achieving that goal? And why haven't they achieved it already? Like, what stopped them from getting it up to this point? And once I have that info, then I will move on. And remember, you just want to ask them tons of questions. You want to drill down into their situation. The more they talk, the more information they're going to give you and the better equipped you are to close a sale. Now, the next part is the most important part. You want to create a gap between their current situation and where they are trying to be. And then you want to position your product as the thing that is going to close that gap for them. All right? So your product is basically the bridge from hell to heaven. You can look at it like that as another way. So your product is the answer or the solution to their problem. This is what's going to take them from where they are now to where they want to be. So you need to create that gap and then position your product as the answer. And this is why it's so important for you to get them to describe their current reality, their current situation, and why it sucks so much. Because you want them to experience that pain on the call. How much it sucks right now. because that is going to create urgency, and then you can describe how your product is going to resolve that pain they're feeling right now and take them to where they want to be. So an example of this, let's say you're selling B2B, you're talking to a business owner who's making no money every month in his business, and he's tired of working like 18 hours a day and not making any money. The reason he's making no money is because he doesn't have any leads. He doesn't have any traffic. So the solution is for you to run your agency to run ads for him and flood his business with tons of qualified leads, which is going to make him all the money that he's dreaming about. So you get him to describe, I'm making no money, I'm doing all this work, I'm not seeing a return, it's miserable, I'm stressed out, etc. And then you want to position it like, man, that really sucks. That's miserable. But that's an easy fix, actually. No problem. You just need more traffic. You just need more qualified leads. And we can run the ads for you and just turn on the lead faucet. And you don't have to do anything. And you'll be making a ton of money. Your problems are solved. And then experiencing pain on the call and seeing, hey, right here is the solution, right? They're like experiencing and thinking about that pain on the call. And you're like, here's the solution. Right? We're going to give them everything they want. That is how you sell something. Now, when you get them to tell you what their goal is, let's say he says, you've been asking questions, right? Trying to find out their current situation, what their goal is. Let's say he says, my goal is to make 100K a month. That's not good enough. That's not a real goal. You want to ask why. Why do you want to make 100K a month? And you want to continue to ask why until they give you the real, actual reason. And in this hypothetical situation, the reason he wants to make 100K a month is so that he can spend more time with his family and pay off their massive debt and they can enjoy their life. That reason is 1,000 times more motivating for him to buy a solution than he just wants to make money. So you just want to ask why. Why do you want this goal until they come out and open up and give you the real reason? Because that's going to be your leverage at the end of the call when it comes time for him to make a decision about handing over lots of money. So you want to remind him, because once you get that information, you can remind him at the end of the call, hey, if you buy this, it's going to solve your issues. You're going to get out of debt. You're going to get your time back and be able to spend all this time with your family. Whereas if you don't ask questions and get to that real reason, you're just going to be like, well, don't you want to make 100K a month? You see the difference here? And also, you want to ask them, what have you tried in the past to solve this problem and why didn't it work? So you want that information too, because that's also going to help you when it comes time to close. The more information you have about someone, what's motivating them, what's causing them pain, the better equipped you are to close a sale. Now, when you do get through the meat of the call and you have all the info, one thing I do like to do is ask them a time-related question, which is, how serious are you about solving this right now? Like, well, why is now the right time to do this? So in the example of the business owner, I want to know if he's like ready to go and wants to turn on ads like in the next couple of days, or if he's like, well, I'll probably be ready in like a month. If it's in a month, then he's not a good fit. I'll ask him why and be like, can you clarify that? Why do you want to wait a month? But if it's legit, I'm not ready today and I'm not going to be doing this for at least a month, then I'm not going to close him because he's not a good fit. He's not serious. So I will say, well, then you should come back when you're serious and we'll follow up or whatever. If they are serious about solving this now, then it's time to pitch them and drop the price. Now, first in the pitch, you want to sell, again, how this product is going to solve their problems, not the features of the product. So what does this mean? Features are boring. Again, we always want to be selling to the pain. No one cares that you have the best product on the market or all the cool features that it has or all these interesting things that it does, right? They care about what it's going to do for them and how it's going to solve the huge issues that are keeping them awake at night. And the way that you do that is instead of saying, hey, we're going to run all your ads for you. We've got the best ad tracking data software in the industry. We've got a team of experienced media buyers who do this in their sleep. They don't care about this. What you want to say instead is we have a team of people who are going to run all the ads for you. They're going to do everything. So you can just make money while getting a ton of your time back, and you can go pay off that debt and spend time with your family, and you don't have to worry about a damn thing because we're taking care of everything. See the difference? You know what I'm saying? And when you do pitch it, it should be short and sweet. So you want to get to the point. And what I like to do is I just like to give the price. I don't prepare them for it. I don't try to financially qualify them. When it's time to give the price, I'm just like, all right, I think you're a good fit. It's a $7,000 one-time investment. And then I say nothing else. I let them reply. I don't get nervous about it like, oh, well, the price is $7,000. Is that too much? Do you think what do you think about that, kind sir? No, this is wrong. It's $7K one time. And then I just let them respond. Many times they will say nothing, and I will say nothing while I just let them think about it. That is very common. Now, to be clear, this is not some kind of strategy. I'm just being silent because I'm letting them think. I'm giving them a chance to process that, and then if they have a question, I will let them ask it. This is a big difference. This is not a tactic. Like, whoever speaks first loses, bro. Like, that's not what I'm doing, okay? That's not what this is. Tactics are for dweebs. I just give them the price, and it's either right for them or it's not. It does not matter to me if they don't like the price. I'll sell to the next person. So when they respond, it will either be a question or it will be, okay, cool, let's move forward, or they will give me an objection. That is basically it. If it's an objection, I have I think I just did a video about this a couple days ago, but I have objection handle videos all over this channel. So we're not going to go into that on this video because that's a whole nother half hour worth of dealing with. But at this point, they will either buy or not. If they are a good fit and they have objections, I will just handle them like I said. Now, if they're down and they're good to go, you just need to process the sale, take their credit card info, give them the onboarding information, and you're done. This is a high-level overview of how a high-ticket sales call should be run. Now next, something that is important to include in this video is my thoughts personally on how high-ticket calls are run by a lot of reps in this industry that you can learn from. What I see from a lot of closers in this space is that they do not make any adjustments to the way that they run the sales call based on the person that they're speaking with. So what does this mean? In sales, you're going to talk to all kinds of different people, especially with internet businesses and high ticket, and they're all at different places in their lives and different levels of understanding of your product, which is also very important to understand. So it's your job as the closer to read the room, so to speak. Is this person a good fit or not? Is it a good time for them or not, etc.? How much of an understanding do they have of this product? Did they just hear about this last week? Did they hear about this 6 months to a year ago? And you just need to adjust your approach to the call based on the person you were speaking with. I'll give you an example. Let's say you were selling, again, marketing services to a business owner who wants you to run his ads for him. This guy gets on the call with you and he's got a full understanding of how this works. He's worked with agencies before. He knows that he wants this. The other agencies he paid in the past, they didn't really work out. And now he wants to pay your better, more experienced agency to take over his marketing and run his ads. So he gives you all of this information on the call application. So the closer, you knows all this information before the call. If you get on the call and you still go through an entire list of questions from 0 to 100 to determine if this product is right for this business owner, you are an idiot. He told you all this on the call application. The business owner explained in detail. He was ready to buy. He told you he's right for this. He explained everything. There's no need for you to do a full discovery on this person. It is a waste of time, and the business owner is going to think you are an idiot, and he's probably not going to buy at all now, and you just lost the sale. But sales reps, or just dudes in general, are basically robots. They're taught this sales process. This is the way a high ticket call should be run, and they're unable to think for themselves unless someone on social media told them they should think this way. They can't use their own brain. Like, hey, I should probably just talk to this guy a little differently. Maybe just have a conversation with him, ask him a few basic questions. I don't need to go into this whole deep discovery because he gave me all this information. I respect his time, right? He's a business owner, but they can't think of these things, bro. Their brain is not on. It's been rotted by social media. But sales is about people. The more people like you on a call, the more likely they are to buy from you. This is just a fact. If someone really likes you, they will make massive excuses for anything else about you, and they will buy simply because they like you. So when you get on a call, you just need to talk to someone like they are a normal person. You just want to have a conversation. This is not like people get on sales calls and they turn into a different person, right? You just want to talk to people the way you would talk to people in any situation. Just because this is a sales call doesn't mean you start acting like some different person, character, robot, or some shit. So yeah, you want to run this call model that I went over in this video, but you need to think about the person first. That's probably the most important line in this whole video. If you cannot even adjust the way you have a conversation with someone based on who they are, then you have serious social skill issues. And also, the more calls that you take, you will get better at this. So it's not like I'm saying you should be able to freestyle and be an expert and an absolute pro your first like 10 calls or something. That's not what I'm saying. But once you've done this on calls and you've taken a bunch of calls and run this high ticket sales call model, this is going to make way more sense. So this is an overview of how a high ticket sales call should be run, and that's the end of the video. If you want my help getting a closer role or a setter role, go to the links in the description. Until next time.